Hey, Carol. We have three other people in the waiting room. And Margaret, Glenn, Matt. I'm gonna grab my earrings. I'll be right back. Oh, I thought I admitted Matt.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. There are three other people in the waiting room already. I made an event for this. That's weird. I wonder if I did it on the county group instead of the page. You know, the private. Now there are four people in the waiting room. Let's do a quick. Sorry, I just gonna adjust them up. This is as fast as I am today. So, so I've never done breakout rooms from this end.
Okay. I guess approachableness of the city is what my main concern is, I guess. So Andy Fugate's been a longtime friend, very encouraging from him. I get lots of encouragement from him. I appreciate it. But I'm feeling good about the election, but am very much wanting and needing support. This is my first time to be active politically, going for or basically being involved politically at all. My grandfather's been involved in the city for a very long time. I asked him, where should I start? And this just kind of came along, and here we are, and I'm very glad to have been able to step into it. On a normal week, I'm a pediatric ICU nurse. I've been a nurse for almost 5 years. Prior to that, I worked with Andy at the Oklahoman. I was a designer and a developer for newsok.com specifically. But you know, I've been involved with the Oklahoman as a political entity, even though it's the local newspaper. It was still very political. So I'm ready.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for coming, and thanks for stepping up to be a candidate. Obviously, we are big fans of people who will be that courageous. I think it's submitting yourself to the will of the people is a very courageous thing to do. And as is demonstrated by our current president, it's not always something politicians are willing to do. So appreciate you. Yeah. So are you currently working in the hospitals with children?
I am. Yes, I am PRN. When coronavirus started, my wife is a nurse practitioner. She's a critical care nurse practitioner. And in an effort to limit our exposure, since it would have been the both of us, we have two children. I have a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And on top of that, I take care of 3 sets of grandparents. I basically am taking care of about 9 families on top of my family, if that's shopping or whatever it is. So yeah, I work PRN, which I'm working about 4 days, 5 days a month right now.
And PRN means as needed, right?
Yes, PRN is as needed. As needed. Wow. I take care of when I am there. Now that I am in the hospital.
If there's not enough for a whole glass, fill it up with water.
I am taking care of COVID patients, and I must say it's devastating to watch families go through this. And so I would encourage all of you. I preach to everyone else, so I'm going to preach to you. Wear your masks.
Wear your mask.
Wear them.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service to our
Thank you.
sick ones and to the people who need you the most and to your city. So very exciting to meet you and welcome. And if you have contact information or a donation link, and if you're a candidate in the room tonight, go ahead and drop that in the chat.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, if every candidate who shows up for our meetings, you know, moves you in some way and you could drop $5 in, that could help a lot of people. So that's great. And to keep us posted, I'll say this to all the candidates in the room, if you have volunteer opportunities, please let us know. We try to get the word out to we have almost 300 people on our mailing list, plus our social media, and we like to really broadcast as much as we can how people can help the Democratic candidates. So
Wonderful. Easiest just to share with you to get that broadcast?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, you can share it with me or with Carol, who is our secretary,
Okay.
or just on our social media. And then I will, Carol, if you want to put your email in there also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Wow, we're getting a busy room, and this is good. Okay. Any questions for Kyle? Okay, we're gonna let's move on. I am seeing Mr. Donkwa in the room, and he is a candidate for city council in Oklahoma City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I guess I can just give a brief introduction of myself. Yeah, like you said, my name is Nana Donkwa. I'm running for city council in Ward 1. My background, I'm an attorney. I also have a background in regulatory banking. I was born and raised in Oklahoma City. I K through 12, I went to Putnam City School District, and I graduated from Putnam City West. I'm a PC West Patriot. I also have, I got my background, I got my education, my bachelor's at UCO, and then I have my JD from OCU and also my MBA from OCU. I'm running because I've lived here my whole life. I watched this city grow as a son, and now I'm a father raising my own family in Oklahoma City in Ward 1. I've lived here most of my life, so I think it's important to serve the city that has served me so well. And I also think that public service is very, very important. I think it's a noble cause. I have 2 kids. My son, he's 4, he's wild, and my daughter is 2. Her name is August. She's crazy as well, but my son's really, really crazy. He's also named Nana. And then I have my wife, and she works over at OU. Also, she's an APRN, and she works in the oncology unit. That's just my background. So hello, everybody. And please, everybody, go vote. Municipal elections are very, very important. The vote is on February 9th. So, and I'll be out there campaigning and really, really trying to ramp up. So it's good to meet you.
Muted, sorry. Well, thank you for coming to introduce yourself.
Sure.
And it sounds like I love your attitude that you want to serve the city that raised you up. That's beautiful. That's sort of the definition of public service and just what we need in our city. And if you have anything to drop into the chat, any sort of website, email that we could follow, that would be great.
Definitely.
So we can kind of keep track of that. All right, and I skipped over Andy, and if you wanted to say a few words, so I kind of rushed through. Now, wait, let me pause for a minute. Any questions for Mr. Donkwa before we go on to the next person? Comments?
Thank you for running, all of you.
Oh, yes, yes.
All right, well, Mr. Fugate, Representative Fugate has the floor now.
Andy, I don't think we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. I want to thank all the candidates who are running, and I wanted to speak briefly, if I may, about Kyle. Kyle mentioned we've known each other for a number of years. For those of you who don't know the politics in Del City, it's very conservative, and it's exciting that we have a Democrat finally on the city council. And it's, I think, an opportunity for us to keep him there. Del City elections, especially city council elections, are low turnout. And it's exactly the kind of race that, just those of us who are motivated can make a significant difference. If we can get 200, 300 people to the ballot box, we can get Kyle back into office. And he's a great voice of diversity on the city council, and he has a heart for the community. And oh, by the way, his opponent happens to be my former opponent in the 2020 election. So as a personal favor, I would appreciate it if you guys would spend just a little bit of time helping to defeat her one more time. Donald Trump has lost 60, right? Maybe my candidate, my opponent, can lose a couple as well.
That
Sounds
is
good to
proper
me.
motivation. I love that.
Thank you.
Oh, and don't let us forget that. That is wonderful. Okay. All right. Looking around. I am seeing. All right, Matt and Carol, who am I missing that, or just let me know if you are a candidate or want to make an announcement. And I will. I'm not sure who iPhone Brandon is.
I would just like to take a second to congratulate Councilwoman Nikki Nice, who last time we were speaking a month ago at our meeting, she herself expected quite a few people to, throw their hat in the ring, but luckily enough, this time around, no one chose to contest her race, to go against her. And so we want to congratulate Councilwoman Nice on being elected.
Absolutely. Very excited about that.
If I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you all. And I just want to say for the record that I asked Mr. McHenry to be on this call because he is putting himself out there to run for this position. And I vouch for him fully as a member of my church. And he is like a daddy to everybody in the community. Even the grown people in the community and people that are older than him. So he takes care of everybody. And he has not fallen short of that when it comes to his care and admiration for our young people. And it was very devastating for what happened to North Highlands and what happened to Northeast and what happened to a lot of our schools, especially in our more urban areas of our city. But he put himself in the race and said, if no one else, if not who, me. So I want to ask that we all rally around him and help him in this election cycle, because we need folks who are passionate and are actually from the areas that know about our young people, who see them every day, who mentor them every day, and who can just speak life and understand what's happening to implement that on the school board. So I do want to say that. And I also want to tell Nana my thoughts are with you because that is a very crowded race for you to be in Ward 1 and also Ward 3 and Ward 4. We have quite a few folks who have signed up, and I hope everyone understands the importance of local elections. And I am thankful, grateful, and blessed and humbled that I did not receive an opponent. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, if that's good, that I don't have to go through this, but I'm wondering if people just said, I don't want that pay, I don't want these problems, and they decided to forego. But either way, I'm still thankful for the opportunity. So again, thank you to all for your words of encouragement. I must say, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see who else is going to be joining us for our city council in the coming months, because we, as you know, and what's been going on, we got a lot of work to do, and it's going to take all of that for us to continue this work. So thank you again.
Indeed. Thank you so much for bringing that word, and huge congratulations to you, council person. Now we don't gender that now, do we? Yeah, it is really important for local races, you guys. Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Representative Fugate and Councilperson Nice said. These people have a huge impact on our lives. Just the only mask mandate we get is from our city councils. And even our county, I don't believe they have mandated masks in their buildings. So yeah, it's a lot. It's important stuff. All right, who am I missing?
I believe Seisha has her hand up.
Seisha. Yes.
Sorry, it takes forever for me to unmute. Good evening, everyone. My name is Seisha Primo Shaw. I'm the president of the Young Democrats of Oklahoma. And I live in Oklahoma County, in Oklahoma City, East Side. Councilwoman Nice is my council person. She is the best in the West. And I'm just really grateful that she was able to be reelected and then we didn't have to go through a long, drawn out election because we know how those go. Donna, all my love to you because woo, Nikki had a similar race, right? Back in what was it, 2018? I don't know, years escape me. but yes, like it's not fun, but you do it and you're victorious when you work hard and knock everybody else out. Not physically, of course, but I don't condone violence, even though some people need to be knocked out. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make a few remarks. I just wanted to thank everyone for their hard work in the 2020 elections. We were victorious nationally, and then also we won a few races, a few re-elections. Representative Fugate, who's one of my very favorite people in the world, won his re-election. We had a few young Dems who won re-election. Joanna Dossett was able to flip a seat up in Tulsa. So I'm just super excited about all the good things that happened in 2020. We had quite a few young Dems on the ground working a lot of those races, I would say. And most of the races, there was at least a handful of young Dems that were knocking doors, making phone calls, doing text messages and things of that nature. So I'm just really grateful that we were able to participate to the capacity that we were, because we are in a pandemic. A lot of us, like myself, are working from home. Then there's some of us that aren't working at all because we've lost jobs due to this pandemic, but we were able to try to, help folks who were running for office and ensure that people were successful. So kudos to our membership for that. But I also wanted to make an announcement about our holiday happy hour on Friday. We're going to have a holiday happy hour, and everyone's invited. It's not just Young Democrats. And this is an opportunity for candidates to come and make themselves known to our membership and to just talk about like their platform and, drop fundraising links and all of that. And just to have some camaraderie with the Young Democrats of Oklahoma across the state. So I invite everyone to join us. And we actually have a Facebook event. And Matt, I hate to put Matt to work. Matt, if you could drop that Facebook event in the chat, because I don't have it up. I'm on my phone. But, definitely come and join us, bring a drink. Yes, you are. You're a great chief of staff. Oh, did Matt tell you about his new role? He's officially co-chief of staff for Young Democrats of America. Shout out to Oklahoma and Texas. Mina Davis is the other co-chief of staff. But yes, Matt is doing great things. But yeah, we're having that event, and you're all welcome to join us. And I thank you so much, Chairwoman White, for allowing me to make some remarks.
Of course, you're always welcome.
To 9. Yeah, 6:30 to 9. So we'll be on for the entire time, more than likely, because yeah, that's just what we do. Like we get to talking.
That's so great. So you guys, so Matt's gonna put the link in the, okay. Good. That sounds like fun. Yeah, we definitely saw our young Democrats do the yeoman's work this last election cycle. It was very exciting. And congratulations to Matthew. We were talking about that in our pre-meeting little powwow, or I'm sorry, that's not a good word to use, but our little huddle. Thank you, huddle, where we were getting everything ready for the meeting. And so we were talking about his accomplishments. And we should shout out our Jasmine Brown-Jutras has been, she's gone to Georgia to help with the Senate race there. She's working down in Georgia. So sending her all the congratulations and love too. I think it's probably a very frantic race down there right now. So
just to add, another young Dem of ours, our CD5 director, Jakia Harrison, is actually leaving on Thursday. She is also taking on a organizer role in Georgia to help flip the Senate from red to blue to help in those runoffs. So just understand that young Dems of Oklahoma are not only making things happen here, but we're also helping everywhere. So shout out to young Dems.
That's huge. Yeah, I did not know Jakia was going. That's exciting. Wow. All right, and all right. Anyone else for announcements or discussion or?
Oh, I had another one. I'm sorry.
Carry on. Yes, ma'am.
So also in relation to the Georgia races, so the Black Caucus of the Young Democrats of America is having a phone bank on Sunday. And I can send you that information, Robbie, if you want to distribute it to everybody. I don't have the link on me right now, but we're doing a phone bank. And so, of course, there's going to be more opportunities where that came from, of course, through like other organizations like Working Families Party and, GDP and all them. But for the most part, we're doing one this Sunday. So if you guys are interested, you can help us out.
That is great. All right. Yeah, send it to me. I will share as far and as wide as I can. Fantastic. All right. Okay, I feel like it's time to move on to next thing. And I prepared a little presentation for to talk about the candidates who filed, but now I feel like I'm gonna run through it. But it is a long list of offices that are on the ballot starting in February. So let me get my presentation up and then, yeah, there it is. All right. All right, are you seeing December 20 meeting? Okay, thank you for those nods of approval. This is just the agenda up. And the February 9th election coming up. These are the hard deadlines. It is Board of Education primary election and the special election. The registration deadline is January 15th. The absentee voter registration deadline is February 2nd. And there'll be early voting on Thursday and Friday. All right, and I got help doing a lot of this data compiling. So Barbara Cox and Crystal Davis both helped me kind of wade through the long list of candidates. In general, on these lists, the highlighted yellows are the ones where we have a Democrat in the race, and I think all the Democrats are highlighted yellow. So in Bethany, there's not a Democrat in the race for mayor. Excuse me, I went too fast. But in council member Ward 1, Greg Shirey is the Democrat running against Chris Powell, and you may recognize Chris Powell's name because he's a frequent candidate as a libertarian. I think he ran for governor this last go around. And then in Councilmember Ward 2, we have no Democrat in that race, but down in Ward 3, Marilyn McPhail is our Democrat running against Republican Tom Edwards, and this is her first campaign. I've actually known Marilyn for many years. We used to go to church together when our kids were small, so I was happy to see her on that list. And in Bethany Ward 4, there is no Democrat in that race either. All right, moving on to Dallas City. We've already talked about this race. So there's not a Democrat in Ward 2, but the Ward 4 race, as we talked about, we've got Kyle Gandy, and we have a really, really big motivation to help Kyle to beat Lauren one more time. All right, moving on to Edmond, the mayoral race. There are 3 Republicans vying for that office. That should be interesting. In Ward 3, there are 2 Democrats and a Republican. So Cody Boyd and Kristen Mugg are both in that race. Kristen Mugg, I know, is a member of Edmond Democratic Women. I don't know much about Cody Boyd, but I hope we learned something soon. Ward 4, independent, and 3 Republicans in that race. All right, Nakoma Park. It's got 2 Democrats running for mayor. I look forward to getting to know those people so we can help them out. No Democrats in the Ward 1, 3, and 5 races. Okay. All right, and this is, let's see if I can hide the controls. Yeah, I agree, Andy. we need something to rally around. I like that idea. Hide floating meeting controls. Okay, this is Oklahoma City. We already talked about the Ward 1 race. We have Nana Dunkwa in Ward 1 running against Democrats Megan Scott and Susan K. Parisi. That will be exciting. And there are 6 Republicans. This will be exciting. Ward 3, there are no Democrats in that race. There's 1 independent and 1 libertarian, and a name that is familiar to us is Jessica Martinez Brooks, the wife of Senator Michael Brooks. And while he is an elected Democrat, she is a registered Republican. So I am very intrigued by this. And in Ward 4, we've got Sam Workin Grimaldo running against Larry Hopper in a Democratic, it says runoff in the left column, but that's really a primary. And they're running to unseat Todd Stone, the sitting council person. And we already talked about how Council Member Nice was re-elected by her good works. I love that. Congratulations. All right, moving on to War Acres. There are no Democrats running in War Acres. This is a red flag for me, and I'm worried, but I think that we need to, really talk about how we can get to know that community better and convince them that our policies are better for them than the Republicans. So that is a long-range goal, long-term goal for us. All right, and here we go with our public school boards. Bethany, it looks like Heather Miller is winning that without opposition. It looks like Chuck Tanacoma Park, Janice Modeste is how you said that, I guess, is winning that without opposition as well. 2 other red flags for us. And then the Democrat in Crooked Oaks Public School, Brandon Andrews is running against Robin Thronesberry. So that's exciting. In Crutchco and Deer Creek and the Eastern Oklahoma Tech Center, we have no Democrats in those races either. And I have not seen a solid Republican policy about education come out in many years. So this is a sad thing to see. There is a Democrat in the Edmond Board Office 1 race, and she's running against 3 Republicans and an independent. So they'll definitely have an exciting primary season up there. All right, in Hara and in Jones and in in Hara and in Jones, there are only Republicans running, and that those have won without opposition. And in Luther, we have in office number 1, it looks like an independent has won that race without opposition. And office 4, Marcellus Fields has won that, and that person is a Democrat. So a little bit of balance out there. The Francis Tuttle board is being won by a Republican without opposition. Metro Tech has got 2 races, 1 and 2, and you can see the office 1 has got no Democrat, it's got a Republican and an independent, and the office 2 is being won without opposition by a Democrat, Sarah McKinney, so that's good news. All right, Midwest City, Dell City Public Schools, 2 Democrats running for that office, Nathaniel McGuire and Ed Daniel. And in Millwood, 2 Democrats likewise running for that office. So LaQuisha Bennett and L. Regina Richardson. And I have not had a chance. I don't think either any of those are incumbents, but I may be wrong about that. All right, the Oklahoma City Public School Board, we talked a little bit about that earlier. The board chair, Paula Lewis, is running for re-election. She's being challenged by 2 Democrats, and board office number 1, 2 Democrats are vying for that office, Brett Hayes and Carol Thompson. And in office number 2, or district, office 2, this is how it's listed by the election board. I think they're really called districts. Lori Bowman is running against our James McHenry, who we met. And then office 7, Meg McElhaney is winning that. And she should be highlighted as a Democrat, but she's, I'm sorry, that was just an oversight on the document. All right, Putnam City. I'm sorry, this is super long, but I wanted to really take time to make sure that we looked at every race just with eyeballs. Putnam City, 2 offices, 2 Republicans in office 1, and a Republican, Democrat, and Independent in office 3. A good race in Western Heights with 1 Dem and 1 Republican, which brings us to our special election for District 22, Stephanie Bice's old seat. There are 2 Democrats, Molly Uden and Dylan Billings, running in the primary, and there are 4 Republicans running in that race. So I'm gonna step off from sharing my screen really quick and launch a poll, because now that I really made your head spin by talking for a really long time, I'm posting a poll. The question is, what city council and mayoral races are you most interested in this cycle? And there's the second question is, what's your level of interest in the school board election? I'm just curious. So go ahead and answer that. And then there are questions as we go down, but just take your time on them. I'm just curious. Any comments about any of those races? Did anything surprise you? All right, so.
I believe Nikki.
Surprised that Oklahoma City, it's dominated by Democrats.
I believe Councilperson Nice has her
Yeah.
hand raised.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment. I know in the Edmond mayoral race that there is no Democrat running, but I do want to say that I have worked closely with Mr. Darrell Davis, who is a current council member that is running for the mayor seat. And I hate to do identity politics, but this would be, he is African American, and if he were to win, he'd be the first African American mayor for Edmond. So I just wanted to put that out there. I did not know he was a registered Republican, but you know, obviously with what we do, it doesn't matter as far as nonpartisan or municipal races. But I just wanted to share that.
That's great. Thank you. That's very insightful. You have an advantage that we do not have. Thank you for that. Yeah. You know, I was surprised by the number of Democrats in small towns. That was a little bit reassuring to me. So yeah, so we have a lot of Del City and Oklahoma City in the poll. And yeah, we're kind of, you know, somewhat interested about school board races. Yeah, good question, Kurt. Do city council races ever have a primary? Oklahoma City is having a primary. Yeah, so getting down to the questions, question 4, once you register to vote absentee in Oklahoma, you are signed up forever, true or false? And you guys are so smart. It is false. You must sign up every year. I'm so curious of what you're going to say to question 5. Yeah, me too, Jim. I'm also disappointed in so many unopposed races. Question 5 is, there's no early voting on Saturdays in 2021. I want to know why you think this is. so glad you don't think it's lazy election workers.
Was that a trick question, Robbie?
No, this just comes out of when I was preparing for this meeting and I could not find the dates. Well, I called you, Jim. I was like, Jim, why is this happening? The actual answer to that is that you only have early voting during federal elections. So that's.
But wait, there's early voting on Thursday and Friday, so
right.
that answer isn't exactly correct.
Did I say there's only Saturday early voting?
Yeah, you left that out,
elections.
which is why I went for disenfranchised voters.
Well, it says it in the question. There is no early voting on Saturdays in 2021, but there is Thursday and Friday early voting.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it is all disenfranchising voters. Other states have weeks and weeks of that sort of thing. Yeah, I love that we're all Team Christmas, which is nice. And we're also Team Democrat in Senate District 22. That's exciting. Yeah, thanks for playing along. I'll leave that up for a little while longer. I think those are really fun and interesting. Shannon Cooper, thank you. Very interested in all of it. Oh, well, welcome back to Oklahoma. Yeah, we're disappointed in that too. So thank you for being here to be part of the solution. And that's our big challenge for the future. And we need a plan for that. That's why we keep showing up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time because I have a little bit more to show in my little presentation. Oh, that would be great, Andy, if she would run a bill to extend early voting. Oh. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let that roll. I'm gonna share my screen so I can finish my presentation and get my information out. Okay. All right, play. Gonna put this stuff here. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so just I wanted to revisit the election details again after we went through all of those races, just to put that up again. And what can we do on volunteers is so important. You just need to decide who you're going to support, and you need to gather your little group of volunteers. I can't say enough how much more fun it is to do this together. 2 to 4 people makes it so much more fun, and that can make an enormous difference for these races. Representative Fugate has made the point already that these are not high turnout elections. And so if you and 2 to 4 friends can give 2 to 3 hours, that's a lot of help for a local candidate. It's very important. You can host a fundraiser or donate money to these candidates. $5, if everybody who's on this meeting could give a little bit of money to each one of these candidates, that would be fantastic. And everybody can give, everybody knows what they can give. And if it's $5 or $50 or whatever, just try to put a little bit in the pot to help out when you can. And then get out the vote. Keep it on your calendar. February 9th is the primary, April 6th is the general election. All right, and then I wanted to say a quick word about our van zones, and this is sort of off topic, so I'm switching. If you are working in a precinct in this county, there's a pair of van, and that's our voter access network van zone volunteers that are assigned to help you get data. So if you have a precinct in this county, get in touch with Carol or with me or Matt, and we will hook you up with your van operator who, they will be able to help you get lists of your precinct and anything else you need in terms of working your precinct, because what we really need to do is get to know our neighbors. That's the best way for us to expand our voter base and to tell the story of why we're Democrats to our neighbors. All right, I'm gonna there we go. All right, next steps, the legislative session is about to start. Can't say that word. And we're about to have a really important thing that happens once every 10 years, and that is have a redistricting process. In this meeting, we're already quite a ways into our meeting. I don't want to do a big deep dive into the legislative session, but I want everyone to be aware that is the next thing that should happen. Is we should be paying attention to the bills that are filed, and we should be staying in touch with our legislators. And in January, we'll hit that harder as we talk about, really keeping in touch with what's going on. There are redistricting meetings happening, and I'm sorry I do not have those links tonight, but keep an eye on our social media page. The House Redistricting Committee met last week, and that was a very nice virtual meeting. So feel free to join in on. I think the Senate is going to have one as well that you can participate in and make comments. So that's an important process. Just wanted to throw it up as something on the radar. And absentee voting, you do have to reapply every single year. And here's the link. You can't click on the screen, but it's the OPV, it's the Oklahoma Voter Portal. So pass the word on that. I'm checking my clock. Okay, I want to take a minute to talk about reorganization. There is a form, a Google form that will drop that link in the document for you to stick your name in a committee so that we can start working a little more earnestly and a little more urgently about that. Precinct meetings are going to be March 11th, and the county convention is a month after that. I believe that date is April 3rd, the first weekend in April. So it's coming up quicker than we think. Okay. All right. Now we want to play a little bit. Any questions before we let's see if I can stop sharing my screen. Okay. There we go. I think it stopped. Okay. Any questions about all of that information I threw up there? That was a lot. Yes. Sean, do you have something? Were you waving at me?
Somebody was calling in. I was just trying to get rid of them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. You guys are all looking like holiday to me. Like you're ready to go sit by the fire and sip your beverage. I feel exactly the same way. Okay, as we move through the precinct organizational process and probably the county meeting, we're anticipating that these are going to be virtual. And one of our big tools is going to be, these Zoom meetings. And something we would like to play with a little bit tonight, if you will indulge us, is to do some breakout rooms, just for the purpose of doing it. So I'm just gonna really quick practice. I'm gonna break us out into 2 rooms. And there we go. There we go. And one is gonna be with Matt and one's with Carol. There we go. Okay. All right, and then everyone else, I'm just gonna let it, I think it should assign you automatically. Nope. All right. There we go. All right, this is why we want to practice this with you guys tonight. Friendly faces. Make sure we can do this. All right. This is so weird because my room is shrinking. There we go. All right. Mary Morris giggling so good. Okay. All right. There we go. Everyone should be in a breakout room or have been invited to a breakout room. I think you have to accept the invitation to go to that room.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. There's nothing. What are we supposed to be doing in these rooms? Just making sure, so I didn't miss nothing.
Just chatting. I mean, I was thinking about like a Mad Lib, but I think that if we can just say, "Wow, this is really cool. Thanks for helping."
Yeah, I got you. All right, just checking.
Thanks. Hey, Glenn, how are you?
Glad to hear from you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Are you staying warm?
Are we getting ready as a county for the precinct meetings this year?
Yes.
I would highly recommend, if at all possible, a good meeting place. I know two that are cheap that would really increase our attendance. We have used for many years on the expressway and Northwest 36, the city park. Why it's so good is you can get the Edmond people here in a hurry. It has breakout rooms. If we could get it early, and it's relatively inexpensive, it's a city property. It's got all kinds of bathrooms. It's a really good meeting place. The other one as a fallback would be the large one for the Teamsters. The retired head of the Teamsters, I'll mail it or email it to you, but he's really anxious to help, and he's smart and he gets it done. We just need to clamp that down real early.
Well, we probably can't do it in person though, because of this virus.
You may be right.
That's my concern. So that's why we're practicing tonight, just doing these rooms, because I don't know.
Are you pretty? You think we may have to do it virtual?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Correct.
Now we may be okay by April when we have the county convention, but I don't know.
Both those places are very good.
They are very good, and I'm taking notes. I wrote that down. I know the Teamster places are really good. We may run into some issues like in Edmond because their library's closed for renovation, or it was. But they may have some parks parks facilities up there. So the Edmond people can come down to 36.
They have before. It's an expressway. And it's good parking. And it's quick and easy.
Huh. Yeah, I love that location. I think that was the first place I was elected a precinct officer.
3 years ago, we had a disaster, and I just barely caught it. The county chair was out of town, and I was the vice chair. But what I did was have them rent the senior citizen center in Bethany, and they let us have it real reasonable. And I figured 70. We had over 250. There was no place to park. That's not bad news.
That's great news. I love that. That's great.
Nosy question. Our county vice chair, how is he? Is he doing better?
I don't know. I think he's doing better, but I don't think he's going to run for re-election.
We need to get you two real good partners. I'll bet I know.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm eyeing some of those people who ran for office but did not get elected. I'm going to be talking to those people because I think that's a good. They're really talented and excited and want to do something, and they can't run for office again for a couple of years. So it might be good to get them engaged.
If they're used to the process and they're knowledgeable and they can raise money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, our vice chair, I know, had serious surgery, but
two serious surgeries. Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring everybody back.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, I appreciate it. So they'll all be back in 60 seconds. Well, that was easy. Hey, Debbie.
I pushed the wrong thing. I was like, I immediately saw that. I was like, oh, and Jim's talking. Oh no.
I love it. You have your vote blue signs up.
Yeah.
It was the hardest. Hi, Debbie. Go ahead.
So yeah, because of breakout rooms, it's a time limit. They're gonna cut you off when it says so many minutes.
Yeah, I did that because I figure we didn't really have anything to do in there except have that experience. I know some people do this all day long, but we don't. Matt's had a lot of experience with the national organization, but the rest of us don't. So
yeah. Well, I was on a voice call the other night, and that happened to us. I mean, we're in this discussion, but we kept saying, oh, we only have so many seconds. It's like, we have to stop.
Can we do another breakout?
No, Stacia.
No, I love my team.
I had something to say. No, I'm just playing. I mean, but I did.
You got a byproduct here with Sean sideways. How did that happen?
What are you into tonight?
Sideways, Sean.
I think it was in the front of my dishwasher. I don't know what I did.
Bruh, like, come on.
Oh boy. That is amazing. Wow. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. Like, I'm sorry that I rushed you. Stacia, do you want to share now, or are we just good?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, the moment is gone. I ruined the moment.
Sean with his, I was like, what? What are you doing? I was distracted.
Okay. So, Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about your quest at the city council or the county commissioners?
Oh,
of what
I'd be more than happy to. So some of you have seen, we've gotten an obscene amount of publicity on it. Usually I am not in those, but I post videos of me talking to them. So the county commissioners, Carrie Bloomer, none of us have had any issues with, but Kevin Calvi and Brian Maughan basically co-opted all of the CARES Act money except $2 million that came to the county. And it was designed to go to businesses and people. And I guess they decided for some reason or another that the jail needed it, which was totally against the rules, but they took it anyway. And we objected and showed them it was against the rules. And Butch Freeman came in, said it was against the rules. David Prater said it was against the rules. I mean, everybody told these guys this. And here's what I would say. So we had BLM, LGBT, my old white guy in a suit, and a couple other different groups that all joined together at different levels and fought these guys and got 25 million of those dollars back. Now, 15 million of them have gone to the businesses in Oklahoma County, but not Oklahoma City, but they are still sitting on $10 million. And so I keep having to show up every single meeting, and so do my other cohorts. So this is not just me. All of us keep showing up just because the one meeting we don't show up to or the one meeting we're late is when they stole the money. And literally Kevin Calvi waits around to see if anybody's late or anything else. And the really and truly, for all of the things I have, because I'm always in the back of the room and my wife's always in the front of the room. So I get to hear all the weird stuff in the back. And any political event we've ever been to. This was some of the most corrupt stuff I've ever seen in politics. And I have been in it since I was 5. I've just never seen anything like it. It's shameful. And then when the businesses came, I mean, I literally had people calling Kathy and I bawling on the phone that they were closing, and this was the one thing that carried them over. And it doesn't mean they're going to make it. Look, I'm not sure our restaurants are going to make it. I think we're okay, but there's no guarantees. I mean, Christmas season right now is like every football Saturday. I mean, truthfully, it's not good. But I was thrilled that we can brag as Democrats that all these different groups came together and figured out a way to work together, and we strategized and everything else and beat these guys and got this money back out from them. And here's what I will tell you. You walk into the rooms having defeated them, you get treated different. They used to treat us, everybody, like criminals, myself included, everybody, pulling people out of there and everything else. And now it's yes, sir, hey, no, sir. Everybody gets treated with respect. But we had to beat them to get to that point. So I know that sounds terrible, but politics is about power and control. And it took us, but it took 5 months worth of work. And most people just couldn't. How do you do this for 5 months? Honestly. But thanks for asking. The 21st is the last meetings of the year. So I'm hoping they will dump the other 10 million back into the businesses. But Kevin Calvy's petty and tiny and angry. So I don't know what he's going to try to pull. So keep watching. It is fascinating. Hope that was a good explanation.
That was great. Thank you. I appreciate your advocacy as well. It's been a good lesson in persistence and coalition building. It's a big deal. And his election, Calvi, is going to be up for election in a couple of years, and I guess 2022. So when that is happening, you know, that election's coming together. It's exciting. Yeah. Okay.
To beat him.
Absolutely. Who was the other? Oh, I'm sorry.
Can't hear.
Who was the other person in addition to Kevin Calvi?
Brian Mon was never really forwardly active, but he was a co-conspirator because he went along with everything. And hey, I tell you what, people I really have had respect for over the years, Trish Everest, I've never had a run-in on anything negative with her. She went along with this, and she doesn't need a paycheck or money from anybody. Harold Hamm's ex-wife, who got the $1 billion, went along with it with everybody else. Jim Couch, former city manager of Oklahoma City, who I really liked, went along with it like everybody else. It is the power structure that went along with this is shocking. Knowing full well what they were doing was illegal, and the county would get billed back for it again, so we'd pay for it twice. Here's the kicker, though. We don't manage the jail anymore. We are giving this money to a public-private enterprise. I mean, we are literally donating $40 million. Well, it's not 40 anymore, but $15 million to people who pay $25,000 a month in rent. It would take us 50 years to get our money back in rent. I mean, it is crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other way to put it.
There was a paper trail of emails that.
Oh yeah.
That those
they're the worst
jail
criminals
trust
in the
members
world.
knew it. Yeah. I think some of these people who have never worked in government or studied what you do in government, I think they're sometimes shocked that their emails are actually public.
and all your texts on your private or public phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's woof. Because I tell you, between Calvi and Everest, they hung themselves out. It was interesting, really and truly. Yeah.
Well, it's sad. It's also sad because all those people are still suffering in that jail, and it is a crime against humanity. And I know there are fewer people there than there have been in the past, but it is, to me, it's just devastating. It's something I kind of see. I live in Midtown, and so it's in my sphere of things that I see every day, and it is just it is just it's something that makes me heartsick just to think of all the people who are suffering in that jail and the way we treat them. There's just so much wrong there.
Can I tell one more thing before we move on to something else?
Sure.
Okay, so the jail administrator came in and gave a COVID lecture 3 weeks in a row. 1 week he said there were no new cases. Another week he said there were 2 cases. And then the third week, I think there were 2 cases. And a couple of people had died in the meantime that came in with it. They only are testing people that are going to court. So everyone that comes into the jail, if you couldn't pay your $175 ticket, you are being thrown in the tank with this COVID infestation while you're sitting there. Or if you couldn't do your cash bail, it is a death sentence for some people. And I'll quit preaching at this point. I think most people know where I stand. Yeah.
It's a debtor prison. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, we appreciate your advocacy, and I don't know about anybody else, but I watch your videos, and I mean, I'm not in a position to be able to go down there and be at every meeting, but I really appreciate you doing that.
Anytime. Thanks, Les.
All right. Any other announcements? Because that is pretty much what we have. I'm posting the voter portal link in the chat so we can remind our friends and family to reapply for absentee voting. And Gwen Shaw joined us, and she is the outgoing president of Edmond Democratic Women, and she's very much lit tonight. So
I am.
Yeah, save the chat. That's true.
Sorry, I was late.
Oh, glad to see you. Do you have anything to share from Edmond?
No, our next meeting is January 18th, and we're going to be working on Edmond City Council races and Senate District 22 races. And no, we're
great.
Yeah, I'm anxious
Okay.
to be a past president.
Yeah, and Christy Jones is taking over from you next month, so that's exciting. Okay, and I should share that, speaking of Senate District 22, I've been talking, there are a couple of things I've been coordinating with other county chairs, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but I've been talking to Jody Harlan in Canadian County. We share Senate District 22 with them. So we are figuring out ways that we can, and we'll probably be talking to Edmund as well, since it's in that district. Oh, thank you. Jim is showing us the map of the district that we're talking about. But we're talking about ways that we can either have a candidate forum, you know, before the primary, or we can also look at a real big push for absentee voting, vote by mail for the general election. So that's exciting. And then something I'm working on as a county chair is pulling together a county chair association. So I should be having the first meeting for that next week. And that's getting a lot of good, exciting attention from other counties. Everybody just wants to work together and all that stuff. So good stuff happening. That is all we have for tonight. I just want to wish everybody all the happy holidays and just a very happy 2021. It's been a really tough year, and I appreciate the journey with you, even though we didn't win all our races. Jim's raising a glass, so my glass is invisible apparently. But you know, just thank you all for working together. The voter portal is down. Kurt, what's going on with it? Did I give you a bad link, or is it broken? I think. Oh, okay. I may have a bad link. Okay. Because it was working earlier today when I copied that link down, so I just may have a bad link. I'll have to email a follow up with a good
Your
link.
link is good. It's just
It is.
the click-through link from the state page over to we use a third-party service for that. Looks like the third party is down.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you. Well, we have time.
Robbie,
Yeah.
you mentioned this county chairs get together. Is there anything that the legislature caucuses, either one, can help with in that?
I will let you know. Our goal is going to be to combine our efforts when we share districts to share ideas and provide training, communication across the counties as a support to the state party in general. But really, you know, they're busy doing their state things, and we're excited to do our county things. And then it's a different thing. So yeah, I will keep you in the loop.
I was having a conversation with caucus chair Cindy Munson, and you know, just about trying to bulk up what we're doing in the rest of Oklahoma. Yeah. And so I know there's interest in helping.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I will absolutely bring that to the group. I have not had a negative response yet, and I'm looking forward to moving forward on that. I think it is going to be a great way to bridge the rural and urban divide, because I live in House District 88, which is the most liberal district anywhere. I can't imagine anything more liberal than House District 88. It's wonderful, but it means I don't know anything about Republicans. my experience is very limited, and I know that people who live in small town Oklahoma have a very different experience with that. So yeah, and it'd be nice to support each other. So all good. All right, and with that, I guess I'm going to wish us a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah. 2 more days. It's good to see your faces, and I will be sending follow-up emails with all the links and everything. But thank you all so much for being here, for bringing candidates and bringing encouraging words. I appreciate you all.
Save chat. Save all those links. Save your chat.
The chat. And I did record this meeting. I remembered.
Thank you, Robbie, for everything you're doing.
Oh,
thank you, Robbie.
You're welcome. Good to see everybody.
Work with you.
Good. Yeah, don't disappear, Gwen.
Thank you for your leadership.
If only I had some place I could disappear to.
So say we all.
Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Gwen, you can run, but you cannot hide.
Yeah, people know my address, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You're giving them a crazy one, but I forgot. Goodbye, Jim. Bye, Glenn. Bye, buddy.
Bye. Good to see you, Vicky.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good meeting, Madam Chair. Good job.
Aw.
I loved your presentation.
Thank you
Holy,
all.
holy,
You're so sweet.
I had no idea there were so many offices.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I had a little bit of a panic attack that first night trying to get through vetting all the candidates, and I had to call in help. So I was glad to have have people, run through that with us, because that was not an easy task. With all those, and every school district has its own different filing deadlines and boundaries, so it tends to be tedious. So yeah.
Yeah.
You were all of us, Jim. You were all of us. Goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, let's all have a Merry Christmas. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. Wear your mask.
Bye.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, Robbie, for everything you do.
Sure, Carol. Good to see you.
You too.
Gee.
We'll see you guys Sunday.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'll send out an email.
Okay.
Robbie, if
Bye,
you send,
y'all.
Robbie, if you send out an email, I'm interested in getting better acquainted. So I'll just respond to your email.
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thanks for being here, Jean. I'll look forward to that.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys. Bye, Carol.
Bye.
Bye,
Good
Robbie.
night, you guys. Bye, Glenn.
Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Bye, Glenn. Did anybody know who Gene is? I don't know him.
I don't know. His name is familiar. I don't know who he is, though.